Hello there. So, let's do another art talk because whatever. Now this is from this painting is called "From What I Learned from the Bruce Peninsula," and it's from Cape Croker specifically. So that's a reserve, and I did this in the open on plein air. When I was working at the Pacific, which is a hotel and bar within Wyerton, Ontario. And my family, on my mother's side, had been living there all the way through till about 2016. My grandmother and my uncle. And then somewhere around, 2011, 2010, something like that, my uncle and his Caribbean wife at the time moved up there after he retired from the Toronto School Board as a janitor. Now, that venture was extremely interesting, let's put it like that. I did my time as a bartender and server there, and I did some odd jobs, a lot of painting of the upstairs hallways and foyer and stairwell and so on and so forth. And it's a very historic building. It's a landmark within Wyerton, and I don't really know the status of it now, details being details. But like I said, I had a green Subaru at the time, a Forester, and well, actually, it was my father's at that very moment before I took possession of it. And as I said, I drove the Forester out from the road through the muck and stuff that was over this way here to this section where you have the shelf and the shale here with the shore. And obviously it's special because it's one of the few paintings that I've ever done that was from native land. And I hope they find it just as special for that reason. I had to ask for help once when I was out there. You imagine how funny it must have been, or to see a man like myself, a young man, upon this easel, this black one, the Torino. It's the Weber Torino, which I've had ever since I started, very much since the beginning of starting painting back when it was seriously painting in 2008 or 2009, somewhere around there, for which my parents bought for me, along with like the palette, and then I went and bought the brushes and my first paints. So this took a long time to finish. I did it within about a year and a half. That's how long it took. And then I didn't finish it till about 2012. That's the signature on it. I left it alone for a while too, probably for a good amount of time, because it was just so monumental, and like trying to transfer it from being out there in plein air and then having a photographic reference. They're completely different within the mind's eye to get the perspective and whatnot with the stacking, so to speak, right, with the foregrounds here and the detail. And naturally, as just as your eye sees things with the painting, you want the most of the detail at the foreground, and then less and less detail progressively and further away from you. So when you stand, the way that I really want someone to look at this is from about, I'd say like right here. So that's about 6 to 8 feet. And I'll pick this up and I'll show it to you. So I've been doing like impressionist blended with photorealism for as long as I can remember, because that's what I really appreciate is, again, anticipating and knowing of science fiction and the ever gaining presence of automation that would, come about after the post-internet epoch, and especially as a person that has lived from from a very young age and had having had a life before the internet was around, knowing and understanding how much the convenience changes things and changes people, and how this human network that we've created has changed humanity forever. Because without the internet, I wouldn't be able to do this right now, and without this advanced technology that's within the phone, right? The fact that it records in 1080p, and it has such a large hard drive and gigabytes of SSD space, and the ability to research photographs, say from, so this is peerless here, right? I normally I have the Horsehead Nebula up there, and that's from Halliburton, that one over there, to do digital photo processing, because it's very hard, or it was very hard in previous for artists to do work on plein air and then have to hike it back out. I specifically think about like the group of seven here in Canada, which is world renowned and brought Canadian artwork to the forefront of the world art scene. And hopefully this does just the same, as a renaissance de Canada. Pour mes frères et mes sœurs. So that's it. That's a short. I'm not going to get really into the details here, because this was really, again, it took a lot of time, and it really screwed with my head to figure out where exactly the values I wanted to put them, because this, as I said, when I'm doing these, they're alive, right? They move, they morph, and they change until it's completely solid and I'm satisfied. It's not. I don't paint and I don't draw like any other artist that I know. I don't use reference lines, or like split it down to hairs with circles and stuff like that. For figurative drawing, you just get the outline as best I can, and then correct with the paint or the pencil as you're moving forward. Because it is a process, and everyone thinks that okay, so actually no, everybody that understands art and materials knows that oil painting is one of the hardest disciplines to master. It takes a lot of patience, and so I say this with authority that I've come very close to becoming a master now. I still have lots to learn, and I have the rest of my life to do that. So if you're interested in this stuff, just do it, because within this industrial revolution that is the electronic one, there's only going to be a few differences between us and AI if the progenitors of AI continue to raise it up to the level of a false idol, because creativity is divine and divinity is God, and at the bottom of scientific inquiry you find God again.